I got old enough, it's like,
So you want to shoot them when they're sleeping?
Okay.
so I'm old enough now, it's like, I just need to see them alive and watch them.
All right, it is 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. We do have just the one change, the addition of the 2026 wages report. So with that change, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
I'll second it. Where does it go? Oh, just another line item?
Yeah,
New business.
yeah. Motion by Joe, second by, we'll let Rick have that one. Rick, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and meet as a Board of Adjustments for building permit 637, TAC 26?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Jimmy, second by Joe. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comments.
Okay, so you guys approved a variance last year,
Mhm.
but then through their more drafting of things, they had to add on another 2 feet to the east. So then that's why they have to get the
Oh,
variance.
Which one?
boomers.
Boomers. Oh, okay.
So in total, they're adding 22
All right.
feet. Yep.
Okay. Do we have comments?
Sounds like it'll-
No, we went and remeasured, me and Brian, to the new location pin that they surveyed. There was, excuse me, 35 feet from the overhang to that location pin, so should be well within any setbacks or anything, so.
Okay.
I'll
So
make a motion.
moved, or I'll second it. then.
Okay. That is a number. All right, motion by John, second by Joe. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Adjourn as a Board of Adjustments and reconvene as regular council. Thanks.
Awesome.
Very
Thank you.
painless.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
See, I'm behind the school sheet here.
I don't see, and it's
There's
not
that on the bottom or just David's sign? It's like little on the bottom.
for official use only.
Yeah.
Board of, action by Board of Adjustment.
Yeah.
What's this action? The action is that it passed.
Right. Approval.
I don't see where it says my signature, so if you see it, let me know, please. All right. Our library / museum, well, library report.
Okay, so I have both of them. So Deb had said she would probably say that we had pretty much the same craft events as last year. They did well. They had a successful summer reading program. We had several more individuals sign up as new patrons, and also some signed up in the lobby membership audio books. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Deb has lost her voice, like
Oh, still?
literally.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going twice a week for therapy for my voice. The ENT doctor and the therapist stated that the level of severity of my voice loss is 4, which is the most severe level. The therapist said it will take a little time because if you push too fast, it makes it take longer. She does have a sign up on her desk, and like her and I's communication is her writing notes to me. So that's all she had.
Okay.
And then the museum didn't really have anything except So the museum doesn't have, I don't know what I wrote, but they're looking for volunteers
Oh, yeah.
because having it open during the summer season and spring, they just don't have enough ladies to fill the volunteering. So they're really looking for people from the community. So. That was it.
Perfect.
Would she like a little table? That's sitting back there?
Oh, are you our new newspaper?
Yes,
Wonderful, welcome. We have a desk in the back if you,
okay.
not that we're banning you to the back of the room, but,
But there's the little,
I do have a table here.
okay, well, welcome.
I'm good, okay with it.
All right. Any public comments then? Okay. Taylor. Long time no see.
Say, you've been gone so long, we're gonna have to take you out to the voting roll.
I
You're gonna have to start all over again.
told my wife last night, I said, it's been 2 months since I've been
At
here.
least.
I said, I think that's more meetings than I've missed in the last 4 years.
That's more than you.
So, well, good. I'll start with the TAP grant. Final plans have been submitted to bid letting. DOT bid letting did provide comments. There was, nothing has been quick on the TAP grant. Unfortunately, we weren't told some very important dates by the DOT. We were just told probably a month ago that we had 2 weeks to submit the plans if we wanted to go to construction this year. First time we had heard of that. So we did get the plans submitted. It is planned to let in May.
Okay.
Is the time frame. We asked if we could push that up, and DOT basically said no. So we are going to push it, or they're pushing it to May. We did modify the dates a little bit as far, we wanted to have everything done, and I still think there's the potential to have all of the sidewalk done this year. But we are going to modify the dates to focus solely both sides of the school, north side and south side of the school. Correct, Brian?
Yeah.
That will need to still be done before August 1st. Primarily, some of it's coinciding with the school budget and what Dana has planned for the following year. That we're going to set the date for sure has to be done by August of 26 here. And then we're going to kind of push that completion date into 27 to allow, just with the late bidding. I think if we try to have them complete all of the work in 26, the city may potentially see some higher prices, just due to the time frame of getting it bid when they can actually start. It probably will be June, honestly, before they could even get started, just by the time all the contracts get through, materials, schedules, that sort of thing. And so by giving them the opportunity to still get as much done this year as they can, but not penalizing them, so to speak, if they don't, giving them, we talked August 1 of 27.
Either that or August 15th, yeah, just to give them some.
Basically, the entire project then would be done before the school year of 2027 would start, would be the intent. That way, all the sidewalks operational, but we really want to get that portion by the school done, get the rapid flashing beacons up so that the school can utilize that still here in the fall of 26. Try to keep their teachers and flaggers out of the highway. So, there are a few forms left. One of them does not require a signature. It's just an encroachment, right-of-way encroachment form. Basically, we go through, make sure there's nothing in the right-of-way. If there's not, we state that. That's basically what that form is. There's no signature really needed on there. We did fill all of that out, so that will go back to the DOT as part of the final plans. The next one, I'll just start on the first one. So the first one is the utilities certificate. Essentially, that's just stating that we've held all the appropriate meetings with all of the utility companies. We've identified any conflicts. If there are conflicts, that the utility companies know about it and that they will be moved prior to construction. I think right now, the only utility conflicts we have are with Valley, and they know about them, and we'll work through that with them to get their boxes relocated. So that one does require some ink from the mayor on a signature. I think Valley was the only one, correct, that I can recall?
Northwestern was, but I reached out to Sid and he is going to retire that line.
Oh, at the pool.
Yeah.
And pull the meter off and everything.
It's already done.
Oh,
Just gotta retire the rest of it and we're good.
okay. So that one's just stating that, the city held all of the appropriate meetings, did all the appropriate coordination, and the utility companies know that the relocation needs to happen.
Okay, so is there any discussion on the utility? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Austin, second by Joel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next one is kind of the same thing, right-of-way certificate, essentially stating that all, if any, temporary easements have been received, signed by the city. Cities held the landowner meetings, that's a big one. That's been done. Surprisingly, we had all 13 people meet with us, which was pretty impressive. I know Terry's is still outstanding. Is there anybody else, Brenda? We did receive Fisher's via email.
Bait box. Bait box. and
Yeah,
Valley Fiber.
We haven't received that one, and Valley should be getting theirs this week to us. We talked with Lane, and the guy who was supposed to sign it was out last week, I guess, so we can follow up with him. But essentially, the right-of-way certificate is stating city held the landowner meetings,
Thank you.
acquired any easements that are needed, and had that appropriate coordination with the landowner. Since there are a few outstanding, I guess the one thing we could do is we can sign it and not put a date to it yet. And then when they're all received, whether it's Brenda or you, Donna, stopping back in, it's not necessary to receive all the easements, but it would help if we could get them all received, and then sign that and send it back in. I don't recall, so we're resubmitting all the final plans with the DOT comments on Wednesday this week. I will ask Nick if that has to be a part of it.
Okay.
If it does, then we'll probably just sign it with knowing that it's contingent on these other landowners signing it. So
Need water.
no, I'm good. Sorry. And I don't, I'm trying to remember who we met with for the bait box.
Chris, wasn't it? I wasn't here.
I don't remember him coming in here. Chris Fett.
Super
That-
tall, dark haired guy.
No, I don't think it was him.
Did you guys actually go there maybe?
Unless Nick met with him on the phone. That could have
Oh,
been.
maybe. Yeah.
Because I know everybody that we met with in person. Yeah, no, I don't think we met with him in person. I'm guessing Nick met with him on the phone. Would be my guess.
So like all of these ones that I have, should I have Donna sign the buy?
Yes,
Okay. And then if it's her own, have
Maybe
Joe
Joe?
sign it,
sure.
the president. Okay. Here's another one.
Okay.
Because I mean, just talking a little bit I did with Terry here, he's gonna sign it, he just wants the sheet cleaned up a little bit, there's a couple things
The
we
wording.
forgot. Yeah, and a little bit of the wording. So I mean, I feel we're gonna get them all, and really his is probably the most important one we get. Everybody else we tie in pretty close on the boulevard. On his yard in particular, he's gonna get a 6-inch curb head on the backside of the sidewalk just because that yard is so high.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we'd have to regrade honestly past his trees. A lot of times they probably wouldn't survive if we did that, so. So yeah, the sidewalk through there and then around that corner will all have a 6-inch curb.
Yeah, it's also not dated. Neither is this one. So, is anyone willing to make a motion, based on contingent on the receipt of additional?
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All right, motion by John, second by Rick, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So I'll go ahead and sign since it's contingent.
Okay. I'll start with phase 2A. So it's probably been almost a month now. We met with Banner and First District to figure out what we could do with the remaining funds in the phase 2A project. There's about 206, close to 300,000 left on the drinking water side for phase 2A, and about 100,000 left on the clean water side. The clean water side is all loan. The drinking water side, there is a little bit of ARPA grant dollars left on that. And so we had just asked the question to Danner, what can Lake Preston do with that money? Can we use that money under the 2B contract and just change order it on the Prunty's phase? Or kind of what are the steps that we need to follow? Obviously, Brian and Brenda were part of that meeting along with Doug, and it was city wants to utilize those funds. The short side of the story is the city can use them. The easiest way to use them is under Rounds' contract on the 2A project. So the plan is to redo Walters Avenue, north of 4th Street, up there by Tim Casper's. We had asked for permission to add that into the project in the fall of 2024, actually. We had asked to add that in. When we were doing all the water main work down there on Park Avenue, Water Tower, Walters, we elected to pull that out at the time just to make sure we had enough funds to get that water main work done. And looking at it now, there is enough funds to do that work. And so we're in the process of getting that design completed. We had it, I would say, Brian, 60%, and then we decided to pull it out just to make sure.
Mhm.
So we're finishing that up. It's basically done. We're getting the final plans ready for Weston to review, and then we'll push that out to Rounds in an RFP. Now, my understanding is Prunty was the sub for Rounds on the 2A project. Now, Bose and Timmons were the contractors for Timmons was contractor for the curb and gutter. Bose was the contractor for the asphalt. We did ask Danner the question, does Rounds have to use them? And the answer was no. So I would presume that CBC will do the curb and gutter, Dunick would do the paving. So, which is good. I mean, they're already going to be in town. The one thing we do have to work through with Rounds, though, is the unit prices on the 2A project are substantially higher than what the city got on 2B.
Oh.
And so we need to sit down with them and try to figure out, okay, you're getting $7 a square yard more on asphalt. Does that mean your mobilization can be less? And basically try to work it into the budget. I think there's a way that we can do that. It's just kind of going to be how do we do that, right? What is Rounds comfortable with, and how do we get to that point? But that is the plan for the 2A stuff. There is a little bit of rework that they still need to come back and do from last year. Obviously, Park Avenue didn't get seeded, so they need to come back in. Valley Fiber's got to move one of their vaults. MediaCom has to move one of their vaults, and then Rounds can get back in there and actually shape the ditch as it was intended and get it seeded. I believe Jan Mobley's also needs to get seeded this spring. So those two things are kind of cleanup left over from that water main stuff last year. So my understanding is as soon as kind of the frost comes out of the ground, they start coming back over to do removals for phase 2B. At that time, rounds will come in and get that stuff cleaned up so they can try to get that seeded right away this spring.
Good.
Yes, questions on 2A? Did I leave something out, Brian?
I don't think so.
Phase 2B, kind of, we're in about the same spot, just working on cleaning up some plan sheets, getting some things finalized. The northwest corner of town is pretty much done. Just gotta get the plan sheets cleaned up. We will have to stake that right away. I feel like the frost is mostly out of the ground. I don't know. You do more digging than I do.
Not really.
No?
It's keep coming and going.
It's hit and miss, yeah. What I've done is some spots are not there and some spots still pretty.
Are those right away stakes still up there from when we,
Mhm.
enough for an otter tail to move those poles?
Um,
They gonna need a few more.
we need to discuss that anyway, because we gotta mark those holes anyway, so.
There are some utility relocations up there that are gonna be needed. I think there's 4 poles that Otter Tail is gonna move. And then Northwestern is more than likely gonna have to move all their gas up there. And then we had a meeting 2 weeks ago with Wood and finally got a hold of them. So they're gonna plan to relocate all their stuff. That's in there. So hopefully that stuff can take place before rounds and country come back in. So the other things that were added on the 2B outside of the northwest corner of town are 2nd Street between Lake and Fremont. That's kind of the road there that I don't remember who all lives on that road, but
Is it Menzel? And
there you go. Got the dogs. I know that. That road was used as a haul route, obviously got blown out. So that's gonna get resurfaced. And then 2nd Street from Fremont to Spring, that section is the 1 block city project, if you wanna call it an eligible block. And then the alley behind the Lutheran church. So those are the other areas that were added into phase 2B. So we're hoping here in the next couple of weeks to have those plans finalized and then be able to kick the RFPs out to those guys and go from there. So there is still gonna be quite a bit of money left over. Looking at it roughly, I mean, probably looking at close to 300,000 left on water and 300,000 left on sanitary. Kind of depends how we weight that all. That's something that we'll have to discuss with Brian and Doug and see with that leftover money, what do we want to do next? We talked about doing the water main on 4th Street down by Brandon Carbons, kind of getting that 8-inch started going to the airport. Talked to Danner about it. They were not okay with us running that water main and just dead ending it down there like it is now. They stated that they would rather see us run it all the way out to, is that Airport Drive, the first one, right? And create that loop. And basically said that would all be eligible.
Darn.
So I had our environmental group do a wetland survey out there, and there's actually 9 of them. So we'll just have to kind of pick that route to avoid that. Not saying we can't dig through it. It's just there's some requirements if you do dig through it, what you have to do. But that's one option with some of the drinking water dollars, or if we, depending how we weight this change order, if we need to do some sanitary work, we would weight this change order work a little heavier on the water, save a little on the clean water side. I do know 3rd Street out here from Lake to Fremont is in very, very poor shape, to the point where that sewer is starting to, we call it hinge crack on the bottom, where the flow line is actually cracking upward into the pipe and the top is cracking downward into the pipe. It's probably beyond the ability to be lined, to be honest. So not saying it has to be on 2B, but that is maybe something, if it doesn't get put on the 2B, the city will have to look at in the future. my
that-
thought is if the funds are available to try to get it put on the 2B.
Would that be eligible?
Probably take another letter, but I bet we could get it eligible. You know, I would look at it as that was supposed to be part of the lining project back in 2021, or it was part of that bid schedule in 2021. That homies phase, I'll call it. And there were no bidders on the lining project, very similar to the northwest corner of town. I would say it's not for the lack of the city trying to get it addressed. It didn't happen in 21. There were no bids, and honestly, that televising that we had at that point in time was from 2015, 2016, because that was prior to the facility plan that happened in 2017, 2018. So, I mean, that televising is
10 years
10,
old.
10, 11 years old now. What we had televised last summer is showing that pipe has deteriorated quite a bit. And so it's to the point where it's probably beyond lining. I think we could put that into a letter similar to like we did the northwest corner of town and be able to justify that. Now, I'm not saying just because we can justify it means Danner would allow it, but
Worth a shot.
yeah, I mean, it'd be a letter stating why the city of Lake Preston wants to add it, and it's covered under the environmental. That's always the big thing. So thankfully, what we've started doing is the environmental is a 1 mile radius around Lake Preston. So anything that's added in town would fall underneath the CADX and be covered. So that's something we'll have to kind of work through as we get through the change order here with all this first stuff, figure out where we're at dollar wise. So, yes, any questions on all of phase 2B, I'll call it. I do know in the church alley, initially we were hoping to get I'll call it a permanent drainage easement from all those property owners on the west side. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be able to happen, primarily with the one property owner. So we are going to end up having to run that storm sewer actually in the alley roadway itself, whereas before it was going to solely be in that permanent drainage easement. Not a big deal. It just, we're not probably going to be able to address 100% of the drainage like we wanted to. Just that lot's so big. I mean, we're going to try to get all that water to shed off, but it really would have been nice to have been able to acquire that drainage easement for that entire distance. But we'll see what we can do with the grading and try to get that water at least to shed off so we don't have it standing there like it probably does now still. So, but we will have to get the two easements with the other two there. So we'll get those put together, and because the inlet then will sit off the edge of the road. So. Anything else? Okay. Water tower. So I'll try to make this quick. I'll start obviously with change order 4. There was a little bit of a mix up, I would say, on everybody then. So what change order 4 is basically all of the work that happened out here at the existing tower site minus the demo of the tower. So originally when the project was bid, only the base bid, which was everything at the new tower site, and bid alternate A, which was just the removal of the existing tower, was awarded due to the funding at the time, right? Because the bids came in higher than expected again. And so the only thing that was awarded was the base bid and bid alternate A, which meant just taking down the old tower, leaving the footings and everything. Well, obviously that didn't happen, right? I mean, the existing tower was tore down, the storm sewer was put in, the footings were removed, the water main was done, the gravel surface lot was done, and we're planning to do the surfacing work now. None of that was in the contract. So when we were working through moving towards final completion, McGuire had asked the question, well, they didn't see any bid items for that bid alternate B in the pay request. So we had a meeting with, that was the primary reason we met with Danner, was to discuss what's the next approach. And so if we add the surfacing in, which change order 4 does not include the concrete work and asphalt work out, so it doesn't include the sidewalk, the curb and gutter, or patching the street back in. If those are included, there's a shortfall in the funding of about $15,000, just using McGuire's unit prices. And they're, I don't want to say they're high, but they're probably on par with that scope of work. It's such a small scope of surfacing work where you're seeing curb and gutter at $100 a foot. City's project is 25 because you have 6,000 feet of curb. And so we asked Danner what options we can do. And they said, well, you can put an RFP out to McGuire asking them to reevaluate their prices. And you could also put the RFP out to whoever else. The cleanest way would obviously be able to do it under McGuire's contract because the city already has that. So when we sent change order 4 and the pay request over to McGuire, they responded on Friday last week and basically said they reevaluated their prices and they really can't move. So if the city wants to look elsewhere for the surfacing work, they can. So we'll get an RFP put together and then work with Brian and Doug and figure out who we want that to go to. Obviously Prunty would be an obvious choice, having somebody in town, and we could really send it to whoever else. I mean, it's going to be under 100,000. So we're really just trying to find somebody else to do that scope of work. And then we'll have to work through with Danner how that works as far as payment to them.
Okay.
So change order 4 includes, like I said, the storm sewer, the water main, the removal of the existing tower footings, and then the resurfacing of that lot. And that total is $82,515. And then as part of, change order 4, that's incorporated then obviously into pay request 15. And pay request 15 includes the $82,515. And then we did reduce that retainage from 3% down to 1%. More so since McGuire, basically it was non-committal to the surfacing. And they've really completed everything in the contract at this point, because if we take the bid alternate B out, because it's not technically in the contract, really they could get up to all of the retainage back, or the retainage would essentially go to 0, and then we would hold 10% retainage on the 82,000. But by the time you figure out what's left and what's roughly that 200% of valuable work remaining, we can probably justify withholding still that 22,000. So pay request 15 with the retainage reduced to 1% and change order 4 is $125,042.75.
Okay. So the 82,515 is for work completed.
Yeah, it's minus
like,
the surfacing and
yeah.
the seeding work.
Okay.
The seeding work is very minimal. I think it was like $3,000. So the seeding work, was not included in change order 4, and then the surfacing work. So.
So any discussion on change order 4? Is there a motion to approve change order 4?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Jeremy, second by John. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And then with pay request 15, any discussion? Okay, is anyone willing to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I will say, Brenda, and then Donna, I know,
Yes.
since you have it in front of you, on that cover sheet, we did add a line, I think it's line 7. It states the amount retained by the city for liquidated damages. Because what was happening, if we didn't include that, you guys would have overdrawn on this pay request by 100,000, or on one of these by 100,000, because really that, you've already drawn that, but it wasn't shown on the previous pay request that you've drawn that liquidated
Okay.
damages. On pay request 13, it was shown just in text on how it was gonna work, but it was never incorporated into a pay request.
Okay.
And so we did incorporate that into this pay request so that all the calculations work so that the city doesn't overdraw, because you've already drawn that and received that. So just to kind of clean the numbers up and make sure that Danner wasn't blowing your email box up, Brenda's saying that the city's gotta pay back 100,000.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, minutes of February 9th meeting. Does anyone have anything to say? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
Motion by Joel, second by Austin, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports.
Was you and me? Yeah. Austin and I went to the Development Corporation meeting here, whatever day, what that was. Oh, you got it. Okay. You talk.
Brenda was there too.
I would
Basically, the development board is willing to cover up to, did they say exactly, or did they want an exact number from us or a percentage
They
from us?
wanted to know what because the day that we went to that meeting, I had just happened to talk to Toby Morris,
Mhm.
and he was the one that mentioned getting 100,000 from them and like storing, and then say we can't make a payment,
Or we're short.
right?
Mhm.
And then take it out of that 100,000
Mhm.
so that they have some skin in the game.
Mhm.
But then when we talked to them, and I didn't realize, I think what Jeremy mentioned, like 60-40.
Yeah, it
Really?
wasn't, I don't remember, did you say we wouldn't make them pay like 50% exactly, but it could be like 40% or
I don't know
30%
if
or
we
whatever?
talk percentages or just talk.
Okay, I thought I had heard that, but
Like say there's a shortfall of 100, not 100, Jesus.
say there's a shortfall
10,
of 10.
a shortfall of like 10,000. Like, would we want them to pay 50 and us pay 50, or?
Right.
I think that's kind of what we need to know, because I probably need to start getting some information for an agreement
Mhm.
with the development board.
Yeah. So as your understanding was development board was definitely.
Yeah.
They were willing to,
100% behind that 100,000. You
yeah.
know, I mean, just from what they talked,
Mhm.
so.
Okay.
So,
So it's not that you need us to do it, just come up with a percentage for the
Right, like
council
maybe
to,
discuss what your thoughts are.
yeah, a percentage to throw back at development board. As far as even having a conversation,
Mhm.
you know, 'cause-
Just split it down the middle, 50-50.
Okay.
And see what they say.
okay. Take that to development board.
well, they want to do 50-50 or 60-40 or,
Yeah, they have a better number.
Well, I'm sure they're looking at just, you
Their
know,
better number is paying less. than
I'm
paying
sure it
more.
does.
yeah, you know, if they went 40%, you know, that 100,000 would last a lot longer.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, if you think that's what was discussed, that's fine.
Because I mean, they were okay. Initially, we were just talking splitting it 50-50, and they understood it completely. And then I had to open my mouth and say that we were maybe also thinking 60-40. But
Oh,
I couldn't
okay, so
remember.
that-
Even at that, where,
They were completely fine with 50-50.
so where
But
does,
then-
where does our 50% come from?
Well, it'd be, you know, the sales tax,
Yeah.
Yeah, say
Yeah.
that.
well,
Oh,
what's left over from the property tax, you know.
Yeah.
So if we're short, let's say 8,000 or 10, let's say 10,000, that's an easy number, that we'd come up with 5 and they'd come up with 5.
I know, where's our 5,000 coming from? What account it's gonna pay?
sales tax.
So what, that's what covers the budget, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, yeah,
So
but
we,
something else would have to,
so we need to put that into our budget of,
like a shortfall.
right? I
Like
mean,
potential, like an extra contingency fund.
And that 48,000 to 50,000 was with the whole like 1.2 million.
Oh,
So
it
then-
was? Oh.
Yeah, so that, and I don't know why it didn't come down even more, but with just the lower one, it was 40,000 a year, the payment.
right, so that's what we need to, when we do with the budget, we need to make sure we have that 40 or 50,000 set aside, or half of that, or whatever,
Yeah,
from something before.
correct. We also have 2 years, so we
Yep.
could do 10 this year, or even 15, and then we start getting a buffer, because,
Hmm.
yeah, it's 2 years before anything would be due.
Right,
That's a good idea.
otherwise they're coming,
Plan for the worst, hope you don't need it.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna have to make sure that those lots make some good.
Yeah, based on interest, I just don't foresee, I mean, selling all 8 lots at once, obviously that's pretty ambitious. But yeah, I easily see 4 going up right away. Potentially more, but yeah. So, yeah, so what's our final? We don't need a motion for that, do we?
Not
Just some,
per
because we're
se.
just taking
We're
it to
just
them,
taking to the development
Yeah.
board.
so.
yeah, if they'll match the 50% or whatever.
50-50.
Okay. Okay. All right, so that was that committee report.
Yep.
And the Parks and Rec Committee. Care to explain what you did?
So here are the finalized
Okay,
policy. There's a coach's code of conduct and move up a bracket request.
I guess I can explain why the Park and Rec Committee met. There's been some discussion about whether or not to move athletes up within the softball program. It's been done in the past, and then there was some question about whether it should continue. There's not a policy in place, and it was just highly recommended that a policy be created with the joint program between DeSmit and Lake Preston. So, and time is of the essence because coaches need to get the rosters submitted down to Madison, ideally by March 20th. So the plan is for you, council to review. If you're in agreement, make the motion to approve the policy tonight, contingent, because then DSMIT meets on
Mhm.
Wednesday. So the exact same policies before DSMIT council Wednesday. So,
I had somebody call me and ask about, are there some kids that are gonna be excluded? That would have to go somewhere else other than Lake Preston or East Smith? By the way something is worded? That was the feeling that
I don't,
a parent got.
No,
I
not
don't-
according to what we had for information.
No,
yeah, like that.
Cause they were
person-
at some meeting over in East Smith or something.
Yeah, I was at that one and several others. No. I don't know what they were told, but in all of the meetings that I attended, excluding anyone, and actually it's very, you're welcome to look. It's very we welcome athletes from other communities even into the DSMIT Lake Preston program. So, no,
They're gonna go, like 12U. They're gonna pull, if they pull up from the 10U, they're gonna go by,
the oldest
oldest.
first, approach the oldest girl first. And if she wants to move up, fine. If she doesn't, then they go on to the second one until a full roster has been established. And then those remaining are, say, your 10U. If you need 4, then you go down to the 8U, approach that oldest, the parents of
Mhm.
that one, until you again have a full roster. Parents have every option to say no. You know, I think my kid needs to stay at this level, so learning some skills. By all means, whatever as a parent you believe is best for your
Yeah,
child.
Put a form in there for the coaches and the kids,
oh,
parents to,
Yeah,
sign and
right.
So
That
they-
way it goes by age, so you can't say that there's any doctoring of rosters, not picking and choosing to make.
And then was that a change saying 4 coaches?
Yes, so there will,
Potentially,
Right.
you know, if we
Yeah.
can get, you know,
there will be 4 coaches, 1 for each age bracket. Because as the program develops, Amber has done an amazing job expanding the program here in Lake Preston. And then as we, joined with DSMIT, is continued a great collaboration. And the fact that we're looking at having 12U team is just a testament of the enthusiasm she has built in these younger girls. So by all means, we want to keep that going because we can feed these girls up to our school softball program. So, and every attempt will be made to keep athletes local here in Lake Preston and DSMIT for games rather than, try to send them out other places. So. Park and Rec Committee, anything you want to add? Like I said, that was the background as to why you guys met. Brenda likewise has met with Tracy in DSMIT and Christy, who is the Park and Rec, the Event Center Director in DSMIT. So those 3 got together and kind of came up with the sample policies, which were the policies were reviewed by the Park and Rec Committee. Changes were made. So. Is there any other discussion? Is anyone willing to make a motion contingent on the approval of
I'll make a motion.
this?
I'll second it. Contingent on DSMIT's approval.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Douglas.
I'll chime in later.
oh, you always say, I'm good.
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah. For starters, I bought some new meters from Arlington. They upgraded all theirs. And they ran the same ones that we run. So we basically bought
their meters for about 40 cents on the dollar. And they're 2-inch, 1.5-inch, and 1-inch meters. So they're the big ticket ones. So I went and got them last week from them. We had our, as somebody might know, our ISO reevaluation last week. And it went pretty good. They were pretty impressed with the amount of documents that we had prepared for them. So hopefully in 4 to 6 months, we hear some good news for everyone's homeowners insurance. That'll help everybody win that one. Coming up this spring, we do plan to fix or replace the drain in the old campground. We were gonna do it last year, but with All Square Union, we didn't really want to have that mess for that. Our plan is to just tie into the existing 6-inch run where that ditch is, kind of by their shop. There's a 6-inch that runs over to Park Avenue, and our hopes is to probably dig that out and replace it with like a plastic molded, kind of like we've done on some of these projects. Not to that scale, but a little shallower. Run 6-inch in and dig down, cut, and just leave it on and have a drain that works instead of flooding every year whenever it rains. We've been doing quite a bit of sewer maintenance, sanitary sewer maintenance. We're probably about 2, maybe 3 months early on that because we've had such good weather. I'm glad we've done it because we found a few problem childs. If it says flushable, just don't trust it. That's all I can say.
Or maxi pad.
Yeah, it's bad. I couldn't believe when I saw that brand new manhole plug solid, something like that. So, also we've gotten 90% of our street sweeping done for the first time, and it's still gonna snow, so we're ahead of schedule on that as well. I plan to be gone at the end of the month here for vacation.
Mark that down for snow.
He's healed now. He's good to go. It's coming. And then also we're looking into doing some lighting upgrade on our highway. We're still looking into details on that, but if we've got the mess and we're doing the digging and stuff, we're thinking we're gonna try to do 1 photo eye on south, 1 photo eye on north. So when, kind of like we do on Main Street, there's 1 photo eye that runs the whole works. So it'd be kind of nice instead of every time the wind blows, I gotta go up and replace. I do a bulb, I do a photo eye at the same time instead of doing that. It'd be nice to get swapped out to some LEDs like Main Street, and then 1 photo eye would run the whole works. So we're looking into that and the details and all that, but everyone's kind of busy and it's been kind of cold to go out and walk around and get that kind of stuff for the most part. So that's something else we're working on too, I guess. That's all I got for now, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so people have already been asking about spring cleanup. So going along with last year's weeks, it would be April 24th through May 8th.
All right, so
I'll call cooks tomorrow.
so stop before a weekend? Like start on the Friday and end on the Friday?
I don't think. I don't know.
May 8th is a Friday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mm,
So would we go until
oh,
the
you like
11th?
The 11th?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we can do the 11th.
Okay.
Well, I'll pick it up on the 11th or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never know what weather's going to be. So maybe,
Right.
yeah, 1 more weekend. Okay.
So far, March 25th is when the auditors are gonna come. I have submitted virtually all of my stuff to her. I gotta get the rest to her. So I should have mentioned this earlier, but so baseball coaches, like if we hire 2 softball, let's say, will we hire 2 baseball? Because she did mention that it's kind of getting overwhelming with all of the age groups.
Mhm.
Like DeSmit hires 3 and 3. So I don't know if we want to look into that in the future or.
Mhm.
Okay, my last thing is, okay, so Midwest Assistance Program is putting on a South Dakota Municipal Government Fundamentals virtual training on March 19th. And I think a lot of you would benefit from it. So I was thinking, and maybe you don't have computers or etc. Like I have a little, what's it called?
Projector.
Projector to go up on the wall. So like if some of you just wanted to come down here and I'll have it set up and like I'll be watching it too. So
At what time on the 19th?
it's from 1 to 4.
What time?
1 to 4.
Oh, okay. I thought you said someone.
There's an agenda and stuff.
Like some of the things say municipal leadership roles and responsibilities, public meetings,
Plans.
laws, procedures, and maintaining order.
Mhm.
I think that's all I have.
Perfect. Thank you, Brenda. Approval of claims.
I'll make a motion.
One second.
Any discussion? All right, a motion by John, second by Jeremy, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Financial report. Thank you.
I really didn't see anything.
Probably gonna see how much you do know, and then afterwards.
How much I didn't know.
Yeah, how much we didn't learn.
Anybody else see anything in the financial report?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Motion by John, second by Austin, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Well, the building permit we took care of. Anything else with building permits?
So there will be one coming up the line. The white shed is behind Suzie Coolers. He put in a building permit for like a tiny home. And so I think David had gotten a voicemail from him, and then David talked to him tonight that he needs to have piers and anchor down. And so I do call him about that. So.
Because, yeah, he's gotten signatures from most of the neighbors, or did he get to all of
Yeah,
them?
he got signatures from all the neighbors.
Okay. And nuisance properties, it's getting nice. Any word from our friend? Okay. All right, new business. Start with the 2026 wages report.
Okay. So I chose like the full-timers, part-timers, permanent part-timers. Okay, Marla Birch is the fill-in librarian at $12 an hour. Finance office fill-in for $16 an hour. Doug Buman has a stipend of $195. And his current wage is 25.26. Bert Crockett is our permanent part-time summer helper. His wage is 16.75. Mike Jenkins is our permanent summer helper. His wage is 16 an hour. Myself, stipend is $195 and wage is $24.52. Deb Miller, our librarian, is at $16.50. Morgan Odegaard is seasonal, 19. Rodney Olson, he's our permanent part-time Rebel site at 21 per hour. Joe is our permanent fill-in at the Rebel site at 20 an hour. Brian Zeke, stipend is $195 and his hourly is $27.81. And then, let's see, full-time employees, we get $40 each meeting. Council for regular gets $100. Special meetings are $50. Mayor gets $120 regular meeting. Special meeting is $60. A quarterly of $500. And then committee meetings are $10.
Okay. Thank you. Fire department?
Just applying for special event licenses for, the puzzle contest. And then also the, Lake Thompson fishing tournament, and I know there's probably gonna be some more, but I wanted to make sure the dates were correct before we got them ones applied for.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
Can we do them all together or do we have to? They're listed separately, but can we,
Maybe do the puzzle contest
okay,
and then
so was it John and Jeremy? Thank you. Any further discussion on the puzzle contest? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the fishing tournament,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
any further discussion? Okay, motion by Rick, second by Austin, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Gravel bids.
Right now, it's looking like gravel bed. Yeah, that won't take long.
All right. All right, we have a bid from the Masters Gravel and Construction, crushed gravel base course at $10 a ton. And then there's the hauling, singles 35 cents per ton,
Oh,
a mile. And then the doubles 18 cents ton per mile. So, and they do have a certificate of liability. So, any discussion on that? Is there a motion
I'll
to,
make a motion.
I'll second.
motion by Jeremy, second by Joel, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstaining.
Do they need to be separated also, or?
no, I don't think so.
It just said gravel bids. I suppose since there's one that, yeah, I
Well,
see what you're
all
saying.
right.
Trucking,
I think last year we separated.
yeah,
them.
and do it.
Okay, all right.
I'll make a motion for the hauling.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Motion by Joe, second by Austin, sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
All right, and did everyone check out the inventory report?
Yep.
I have it in the bin binder
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, it's here. All right, who wants a new pickup?
I'll take one.
Yeah,
I didn't
Who
even-
wants to pay for one?
Oh, well, not me. That was on
I think
Oprah.
I'd rather buy a new pickup
Yeah.
than a new street sweeper though. from
Oh,
what I
there's
saw
no
in the
doubt there.
emails. Okay. So do you want to walk us through? what
Yeah, I
you-
reached out to 4 or 5. I mean, I didn't even give you them all. They're just, some
Yeah.
were just too high. As far as the best 2 would probably be the Brookings Auto Mall and Billion Auto were the cheaper ones. The Brookings Auto Mall actually is a step
I was
up
looking.
from the one that, Billion, wherever that one's, which you crossed around there too, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I was, they're all within,
Yeah. And actually Brookings
Pretty
Auto
close.
Mall has like mud flaps and, just some
Oh.
accessories on it included already. The only difference is as far as, the packages. So the Brookings Auto Mall is actually a package up from the base. Because we just said we wanted an outlet in the box.
110 outlet.
Yeah. So if we were shot back or whatever,
Sure.
we don't have to take a generator for something
Oh, yeah.
silly. So he said, well, the best thing to do is just go up the package, and I was like, I'll run the numbers, see what they come up with. And he did it, and emailed me, and it's like, I think it was like $300 more without the accessories or something like that.
mm,
I thought, well, it's 30 miles away, and
That's kind of nice.
yeah, it's,
Mhm.
so that's where, we've hemmed and hawed whether or not what to do, how to do it, long box, regular box, and, the only thing we come up with is that we really want a long box. And that's, with our wrenches and stuff, they're all 6-7 feet long,
Yeah.
at minimum.
Just how much, is there money already there? Put away, or how much is already put away?
So this comes out of the water tower.
LD.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we don't have no financing, nothing else, so we,
Yeah, with the exception of what we would owe Banner, whoever, I can't remember what that amount was, do you remember? Offhand, now, 20,000.
I was gonna say, I thought it was
26.
26.
So they're,
they're waiving that this time.
Yeah. That way, who knows what next year's gonna bring, if the tip thing, when we have a shortfall and aren't able to do it in 2 years or something, 3 years. Now, I think now would be the prime time to do it while it's there.
mhm.
And there's still a pretty good amount for a pool slide.
Yeah.
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 We had pool slide and
I'd say, if there's X amount, the guy can, get, by the time we get a tunnel, we want to get a tunnel cover, keep everything inside, but I mean, that's probably the most expensive part, from what I can tell. And then, whatever's left after, get our pickup set up, I mean, shoot, they can go pool, slide, whatever.
How long a box? Oh, you said 8 footer.
8 foot white.
Yep,
crew cab, gas engine.
10-speed transmission, something that,
Mhm.
something that when we go to beach, we don't have to put on a sports bra.
I could just see you two right there.
We got videos.
Discussion, council?
How soon?
Take, he thought June, July before it ordered, that would be.
Well, they ain't gonna get any cheaper, that's the
No.
problem.
No. To me, the one from Brookings Automall
Yeah.
seems like the best deal.
That's kind of what we've gone back and forth and we've laid them out and compared apples to apples and it just seems more realistic. with
Well,
that
they
one.
wanna work with you and they're fairly local, should you have any trouble.
Yeah,
So you can retire the red Chevy, the old,
that'd be my goal is to surplus that come summer or spring, summer, something like that, whenever it comes.
put the water tank in the other,
Yeah. In the dually,
in the dually, and then the sprayer can stay,
in the four-wheel drive,
yeah,
yeah.
in that one.
That's all wired up for it, so
Yeah.
it actually is good for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You put 2 ton of it back into it, it runs, rides fine, but.
Okay, so, down there at that end of the table, is that a motion from either one of you?
Sure.
I'll second that.
Motion by Joel, second by Jeremy. Any other discussion, council? All in
What
favor,
was the total?
So we want some accessory,
add-ons, like added tonneau cover?
right?
Steps, the box, and the, whatever you call it, deck drawers or
Like
whatever.
what-
Or organizer.
on there?
I don't know, just fit all up.
The amount
60?
right now is
No.
52,927.
Cap it at 60.
52, so another,
So like do 53.
like 50,
Well, that's
Would you-
only, well, no, if they added
Oh,
tonneau
no.
cover.
I just, cap it
I
at
think-
60, there's no way we'd get there.
Okay, because we need to have a amount in the.
yeah, let's put our amount of, no more than
No-
60, yeah, no
no
more
more
than
you'd be
60. and
saying
then-
at 60,
That way you
I
don't
think.
come over $200 and be like, it's over or whatever.
Mhm.
With Brookings Animal. Okay. All in favor?
Alright.
Like,
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. And now for a street sweeper two?
You guys went and looked at that one, right?
We did.
We looked at that one and actually I called again. He called me today when I was in Watertown. And I told him we had a meeting and I would let him know. And I said, what else do you have? And they don't have it yet, but they're getting in a 16 with 1,700 hours. And it only has one curb room, which we decided it's not make or break. We put it down just to cover more area, but for 110. And the one we looked at was a 2020 with what, 3,500?
3686.
3686
So
for
it's double the
150,
hours.
Yeah.
you know?
And that was the only difference between the two, was one had a,
Yeah, in years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have auto lube.
Single broom.
And it doesn't have auto lube, but
How do you know it's working?
being a farmer, I don't trust auto lube. Like he said, it does, because you program it by the hour. So every 8 hours, if we're out street sweeping, if everything's working fine, it greases, but they don't always work.
I mean, this thing is, these are.
I said,
small
we're used to
lines.
manually greasing the one we have. I says,
Do you have a printer?
that's the way I kind of prefer it.
Mhm.
So,
I mean,
I mean, you can, when you grease it, you know whether it's taking
I'll
grease or
print out
not.
of this.
Mhm.
I mean,
no,
They
you
don't
just
have it yet.
told me today.
Oh.
It's not even in yet, right?
he said it'd be like 3 weeks before they got it.
Oh.
and that'll be gone through and,
Yep,
Yep.
be gone through.
So it's a great example is Arlington just bought a 2016. I'm not so certain it ain't the twin sister to this. But they just bought, they looked at this 2020 also, and they went to 16. That was just a couple weeks ago.
they pay about the same money or don't know.
I never asked them. It's gonna be, with that right hand only, it's gonna be less maintenance really.
Right,
So
unless-
It's in good shape.
Yeah.
Actually, I asked him about because we saw that 16.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
one that Arlington bought.
yeah, and I said, was that price kind of the same? He said it was, so.
So is this one more of a hydraulic than chain driven?
All hydraulic.
Mhm.
The 16s are, everything, 8s with everything's not that old. No gearboxes, nothing, it's all hydraulic driven, so if something goes wrong, diagnosing it's way easier. I mean, it's either the pump or the
Right.
motor, you know,
Or broken line.
yeah. I
Well, 1,700 hours is pretty low hours for.
Yeah.
I think we should just basically table until
Right?
Till we
we
get that
see
one.
what this one's got.
Yeah, just maybe let your guy know, we meet again on the 19th,
If it
which is
comes in.
still not very far
It
away.
comes in, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it'll be in by then.
And they,
Right, no, but
Right.
if they have someone else after it, just, look, we can have more conversations,
Right
but
of
we'd
first
like to wait.
refusal.
Yeah,
and they finance it there.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, they sent us the,
For the 2020, they were doing, 5-year and or 7-year. It's a difference of about $6,700, $6,600.
Did you check with the bank on that? Did you?
So Missy was gonna send me a loan application. But I didn't
Nothing?
get it, so maybe I'll call her tomorrow. But the numbers that I looked at that they offered was really good.
Yeah, look for you.
Oh, and
for interest
they're-
or what? I didn't look at
Yeah, and the payment plan, like,
They offer, I thought it was pretty decent,
I'd imagine they're used to working with
yeah,
cities for doing that, so.
especially making balloon payments, you know.
And you think possibly we could sell ours to another city, you thought?
We got a couple in mind, I think he's been kind of our ears on the field, on the ground, out and about. and
Like if you could get 10,000 or something out of
Never
that.
happened.
No.
Never
Maybe
happened.
$10?
For what the market's doing right now, then you can look online, there's some.
Oh, really?
I would be pushing.
Yeah. I think we asked him, well, what do you do, a trade-in? He goes, I'm not even interested in trading. He doesn't want nothing to do with it. We went to the lot, there was one sitting on the lot,
And
and
blue wave sold us, right, or purple
purple
wave,
wave.
purple wave.
okay, so we'll sit on it, find out more, okay? All right, Otter Tail, lot utilities.
I got called by Scott, well, they're higher ups. Basically just inquiring about utilities in the have-nots and the whatever's there. And I said, there's too many unknowns for me to make any decisions over the phone, so I said I'd put it on the agenda and we would discuss it. And I told him, well, he asked why it was on there too. And I was kind of telling him what was going on before the meeting and I guess what, I asked what typically happens in these cases.
so I don't know if all the council knows
Nope.
about the corner out on the airport lot. The very corner Otter Tail is,
Far west corner.
To the west of 21st.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're buying that from the development board. Who owns that lot? That development, yeah. And they're, what kind of utilities they're asking
Just
for?
water and sewer.
Gotcha.
I mean, obviously they can get power there, I hope they can.
They're on their own on that.
Yeah. And it's-
Extension cord
It's
out
even crazier is that Valley Fiber is less than 100 feet from their, 50 feet from the property line. I mean, it's pretty set up for them, really.
So what is it gonna take to do the water and sewer?
When they were in town, I had them when they were doing a survey for Otter Tail or their Otter Tail. Yeah, they were doing a survey for them,
Okay,
and I had them get shots of the sanitary structure that's there by the factory.
Yep.
And I'll let you kind of.
Yeah, I mean, couple different options, you know, is it going to be a main in the future? Is it solely a service line? You know, that was kind of some of the questions that we had asked Landon, myself, or asked Brian. Landon and I had correspondence with Brian. I don't know what the long-term layout obviously is out at the airport. I don't know if really anybody has nailed that down yet. You know, if it's gonna be a main someday, it probably, 8-inch would be the best, right? I mean, the city in town wouldn't put anything in less than 8-inch for a main. If it's a service, I'm trying to remember, did Landon send you the
Yes, I'm looking for it.
footages?
Yeah.
So Landon ran through some calcs on, based on that manhole depth and maintaining 6 feet of cover just to make sure there's enough cover over that sewer pipe. What would be needed for size of pipe? If I remember correctly, 4-inch was a little bit short, right?
Cause,
on distance.
out right to the property line is all the farther you can get with it.
Yep, and that's running a 1% grade, which is typical for a 4-inch. You go up to a 6-inch, you can run a little flatter grade, so you gain a little bit more distance that you can get and still maintain that 6-foot cover. And then obviously 8-inch is less grade than a 6-inch. And so 2 things, I mean, if it's any sort of main, it would either have to be, and the city's expected to take over that main. It's either gotta be in some sort of permanent utility easement that the city has with, I'll say the developer at this point, right, the development board, or it would have to be some sort of platted right of way. That would be, I guess, our recommendation to the city to avoid some of the things we're finding on these projects where there's a sewer main there, but we can't find an easement, or it's not in a right of way, or it's in a vacated right of way. That's where she at. So I guess the couple of things I talked to Brian about is typically when we see new lots or new development, really the city's cost on that is nothing, right? I mean, that would be the developer or the builder's cost to get water or sewer to the property. Knowing that then at some point, depending what it is, if it's a main, then normally it ends up being in some sort of right of way or easement that the city would then take over the maintenance of that once it's installed. If it just ends up being that Otter Tail elects to go with, like, we'll say a 6-inch sewer and a 2-inch water just because of the distance, then where does the city's ownership stop? Is it at a right of way? And Brian and I kind of talked, you know, we maybe, if they just went with a 2-inch water, there'd probably be a curb stop on the right of way line of industrial, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be where the curb stop would be, the sewer would go to that point. I believe the current city ordinance is the city maintains up to the curb stop, right?
Yep.
Because the city wouldn't want to take ownership of that 900-foot service. You would only want to own up to that curb stop or maintain up to that curb stop. Kind of same thing with the sanitary sewer, like, you know, the city doesn't want to maintain a 6-inch private service if that's what it ends up being. And that's, I think, kind of where the city doesn't know yet, I think, and I don't know if Otter Tail really knows what their plan is. If it's going to be a private service, more than likely they're gonna have to get an easement from 21st century, get an easement from them even to get the sewer out there. Because right now, to get out there, to go south and down and around, I mean, you're losing a lot of grade, and it's gonna cost probably a lot more money to do that than it would be just to run a straight shot across. You find those. I think that manhole was about 9 feet deep, if I remember right.
It's 10.24 feet of drop.
10.24.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't know where it's at.
And I don't know if an 8-inch is feasible. I don't ever foresee a roadway going out right there. I mean, that's one thing I think.
They're gonna put an approach in from oil.
To my understanding, just from our surveyors, so I actually just found out about a week and a half ago, our surveyors have a contract with Otter Tail to do the plat for that property. And yes, they plan to put an approach off of 441. Basically, I think there's a field approach to the west. They want to do an approach right there on the east side of 441.
Okay.
But you know, if it's not going to be an actual main, I feel, and this is kind of what I told Brian, that the city just kind of takes a step back and says that Otter Tail needs to figure out if it's just going to be a service line, or they could work with the development board and figure out if there's a plan to have a road there, not have a road there, or if there'd be a platted right away there.
So the service has to come off that curve.
Yeah, the only other option is to come off.
There's nothing up on the north side by the highway.
No.
cause that manhole goes up and stops there.
No,
Cause 21st initially had plans to add on, headed south, so,
I think the west now.
They're going west.
cause then they get the lots to the
Yeah,
south.
they bought south to expand south at the time.
Yeah, that's what last I knew, they were,
And I,
but if they're not going south now, then maybe it wouldn't be a problem. I just see a problem if they're gonna,
right,
Build on top of a
yeah.
water line.
yeah, don't do that, that happened in Burton.
Yeah.
On a 24-inch sewer. Don't do that, but, no, I mean, I think on the cities end, I'm assuming Otter Tail is gonna lean more towards the service. Just trying to remember that very first layout of the airport out there, I don't remember anything going west. From there, it kinda went south and then east, I think there was a cul-de-sac that went back up to the,
Mhm.
Oh,
the-
way to the east.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, because Rockino, it's such a weird shape.
Mhm.
Rockino's is.
and the
right-
elevation dropped so bad at the end
Yeah.
on the north side of the airport that we didn't figure it'd ever do anything up there in that corner.
right. Just from-
Yeah.
They're moving all their trucks and stuff up there.
New shop and everything.
Tired
Cause
of
there's, I mean.
It's not big
running
enough.
through muck and
Yeah.
stuff all the
They're getting a
time.
new truck and it won't fit in up there, is the deal.
2 new trucks.
Yeah, they can't, their poles, trying to get their poles jigged through town and it's pretty tough.
Easier, yeah, that would be.
Well, no doubt.
Yeah.
There's not good access to that.
No.
location.
I mean, they can't get rid of that location, they just use it
Oh,
for
yeah,
storage.
cause they got the peaking plant out
Yeah.
there, so.
Where did Texas?
But,
I mean, so, Otter Tail does a private service, and let's say they run 6-inch, because they need to keep their depth. They're gonna have to, that is a very long service line, and to the point where they might have to put like 2 or 3 cleanouts along that line. Something so they can maintain it even in the future. If it's a private service, the city's ownership stops at the right of way.
mhm.
And I would say the city would tell Otter Tail, we need a clean out here. Otherwise the city can't maintain it either. Kind of same thing too with the curb stop at the right of way. That's a long service. If for some reason somebody forgot about it, Century 21 expands and they dig through it or whatever may happen, the city would then be able to turn that off to make sure that
Yeah.
that water's not leaking without even.
Mhm. That's probably the best interest for the city at this point is to have their own service.
I feel that way. If there is any development out there, I feel it's going to go south and east
Yeah.
as
Right.
opposed to, west, especially with that. I think Otter Tail there's no more lots over there, right? Between
No.
21st and Otter Tail.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, yes, it would be better that it's a private service. The city's kind of hands off on it, and Otter Tail would have to negotiate some sort of easement with 21st.
Yep.
And not be the city's responsibility.
Well, yeah, because otherwise, even thinking ahead for future development out in that area, the development board doesn't even have that land. Rockino
Mhm.
owns the other land, so in the foreseeable future, I just don't see that. Kind of reminds me of Idaho, that shape. I don't see
Yeah.
that being developed.
Yeah, it's a big triangle, really.
Yeah.
That goes on in that quarter there. So, yeah, looking at it, it makes more sense for it to just be a private sewer and a private water, and they negotiate with 21st and
Yeah.
try to get there. Now, I'm sure they're gonna come to the city and say, what do you want us to do? Which they kind of already have, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I think, it's really up to them what they put in. I mean, if they elect to not bury it 6 foot deep, again, it's no different than a private service. It's their responsibility
Yeah.
to maintain it, and I think however that works, I don't know if the city would do some sort of agreement with them on where the city's responsibility stops and where theirs starts, if it is a private service, just to make sure 10 years from now, it's not forgotten about.
Yeah,
That's a
like
good
seems to
thought.
have happened
Right.
multiple times.
Yeah, because the last thing you wanna do is go try to shovel snow out there off the cleanouts to jet it out because, you know, they flush shot towels down the toilet or something, you know?
Yep.
It sounds like that's all it's gonna be is like a bathroom, maybe like a kitchen thing for a break room. And then that's really about it for, I mean, the water service shouldn't have to be, I don't see why we would. The only reason I would say this is 1.5 inches would be what I would run just for the distance. If it wasn't so long, 1 inch should be plenty. But that would mean that we would have to, and we'll probably have to, purchase a meter pit big enough for 1.5 inch meter.
And then the meter would go in the industrial boulevard right away, right?
Basically, yeah.
Cause what was that footage from that manhole to the west property line again?
980 feet.
So I mean, that's long.
That's from the sewer main all the way to the fence. All, so that's
Oh.
just
on the west
worst
side.
case scenario, I would
Mhm.
measured it out all the way.
Okay.
Yeah, you're over.
That's a long run.
It's over
Yeah,
an
and
eighth of a mile.
you know, there's no way, I don't know exactly the building layout or where, you know, they plan to do stuff. I don't see it being 700 feet to the building.
I mean, keeping in mind standard practice, like if they ran a 4 inch, it's a clean out every 100 feet.
Mm.
Would be standard on a 4 inch service. So, I mean, we've had services that go over 100 feet and you end up putting a clean out in at, you know, 80 feet if you got a 120-foot service type of deal, but.
And the bigger the pipe, the flatter you can lay it.
Yep. Now keeping in mind, they should be looking, so their usage is gonna be minimal. You go to a bigger pipe, yes, you can lay it at a flatter grade, but your cleaning velocity is far less
Mhm.
because you don't have a lot of water pushing the solids down the pipe. So sometimes it's kind of that double-edged sword where you got, the most important thing on sewer is your cleaning velocity. Because if you don't have that, then your solids end up getting held up and cause some maintenance issues, so. But, yeah, I would say 4, maybe 6 inch, just, it really depends on their building layout. You know, where they're gonna put it, where the bathroom's gonna be, where they need to get their plumbing to, and, but that's where I feel the city doesn't really have anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be left at the curb line and.
Yeah.
And even them putting it in, you know, for them to come into the industrial boulevard right away, put a wire and insert a TN or tap the water main. Again, none of that cost is borne by the city. I
Mhm.
mean, it'd be no different than a new construction house, you know, they would have to
Yep.
come in and dig up the street and tap the water and sewer if they had to, or if there was an existing one, tie onto it, but in this case, I don't believe there is, right?
No.
Questions? Thank you.
Yeah.
AED at the pool?
Yeah, after having, we had, firemen, we had, CPR training, anyway, Morgan,
Hmm.
the pool manager, it would be nice to have an AED at the pool. So that's why it's kind of on the agenda, so.
Is this agreed, is this something we can get together with Chris in Longville? Because remember, she was wanting to know where we had them in town. Maybe she was thinking about a grant or something, yeah.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe we did this to the last AED, was LP Forward,
Helped with it,
right, did we do that with that last one or not?
I would expect, like, it was definitely discussed, I believe
Right,
so.
I just couldn't remember if we contributed, I can't remember.
I believe so. Cece would be able to say for sure. She
Yeah,
can look
maybe
through.
I'll ask you.
Yeah. So will you contact Kristen and ask her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, discussion,
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Are they spending?
Mhm.
Are they spending?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
$2,400. But saving a
Like
life.
this one here, for example, did he put the case on there? There's like a carrying case, does it say anything about a case?
No.
Their wall mount.
I have it on a case so you can grab it and carry it.
Yeah, because we only need it there for the 3 or 4
It's-
months, or whatever.
Since it's a bag,
Okay, that's, we want that.
Okay.
yeah, that's included.
Where are you getting them quoted from?
That was M&T Fire there.
M&T
Yeah, I know,
Fire.
CP.
Oh, there's other places.
Yeah.
Cause those are like,
Really?
that'd be the twins of all the ones in town. The ones in the
I was
park.
gonna say $1,000 normally gets a decent one.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting. So,
Well, bring some quotes for the next meeting.
Cause we could order it through, I was on the board for quite a while, but there's a SAVIG it's called. It's a buying co-op that there's like, last I knew, about 20 states that all buy through SAVIG. So they go negotiate all the prices and stuff.
So they
Yes.
can be the same, like the CP2 or whatever?
Oh, you can get whatever brand you want.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, cause we want to match. We
Yeah.
want them all in town to be the same.
That's what I was gonna say, because you're not gonna wanna have pads for this brand and that brand and
Right.
batteries for this and that. No, they have access to everything. so.
okay.
And
So-
sometimes you can approach like Avera and stuff. They have programs where they assist with, buying and getting the
Right.
price down for community type things.
So
So
if we could check it
Yeah,
out for the next meeting.
there's
Yeah,
better
so
price than
You
that.
get the hookup, yeah, let's.
Yeah, damn, let's have 2 over there. Yeah,
Where,
at this shed or not? Yeah,
well, we got two, one in each truck.
yeah, one in each truck, nothing on the wall or nothing there.
No, considering we got 26,000. Well, no, I think they're almost $30,000, the ones we have.
Yeah, portable ones, whatever. the-
Yeah.
So you don't need anything like that.
Well, I didn't know if you had one in the,
Because I just had to go through recertification on how to hook up, somebody and be able to pace them and everything like that with external pads and stuff like that, so, yeah. No, I'm sure we can get a hold of them at Savick and find out down in Avera too.
Yeah.
I know they've had ones where they help with, big group buys and then allow other communities to help purchase from or through them.
Okay.
Type thing.
sounds good.
Good option.
Thank you. All right, we have the ambulance roster. Sure, everyone's been waiting since last month. We have Lori Casper, Grace Casper, Linda
DeMartin there.
DeMartin, Scotty Hoyer, Teresa Krogman, Bonnie Nelson, Diane Oldson, Joe Schnell, Stephen Strandy, Rhonda Toll, Shane Weichel, Paul Woosterwald, Sarah Sheely. So that is our roster.
D. Smith just got back from Fargo. I didn't think
I
they were
heard that
gonna,
one.
I didn't think they'd answer so that they'd let it forward to Linda and I.
Yearly / seasonal campground change.
So our current campers that are camping year round have voiced that they would like to do another season, but I know you guys had
Talked
mentioned
about,
if you wanted to change it or.
Well, it don't appear that we're gonna have any
construction.
construction anytime potentially real soon.
Seem to clear this one out, huh?
Yeah.
I imagine they bought a few gallons of propane, but
Yeah.
Yeah, when I talked to her, she said it wasn't bad.
We didn't have long, huge stretches
Oh, yeah,
of cold. I
just-
suppose that helped, but
Yeah, if you really look at it,
They probably got,
the weekends are the worst.
they probably have a dozen electric heaters in their burner.
Could be too.
There's no way a camper furnace is keeping up when it's.
When they don't have any insulation around the
No,
skirting.
no.
We got a camper out in the hills we visit every few years. But that one, we stayed out there one time when a snowstorm come up. It burned 20 gallons in like 16, 18 hours. And that's one designed for winter camping. It's all insulated and sealed. So it's like, I can't imagine that.
I drove by there the other day and I'm like, how did they have water that wasn't froze?
They don't use water.
Yeah.
Well, Night in the summer, they don't really.
So no burning desire to change?
I don't think we have to go back to maybe a major limit on that one.
Okay.
You know, maybe the more front one where you're limited, you know, to so many 2 weeks or whatever our policy is there, but the back one could be
Long term.
potentially longer term.
How much are we charging?
400 a month, I think is what they're paying.
Yeah, but what's it costing to heat that brick building out there,
That's where I'm kind of wondering the same
you
thing.
know?
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, especially in the summer,
Brenda compared apples to apples. She asked me right away this winter, I think, what she goes, my God, our electric bill is double.
oh,
And I said, yeah, it's because we have double the heat in there now.
Yeah.
We have 2 heaters instead of 1.
And just to keep it above freezing.
but I mean,
Let
if
alone
you
60.
had,
That's not insulated, is it?
No.
But you're not gonna,
That's on the same one as your guys' big Quonset, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Quonset's or natural gas though.
but
Yeah,
the electric,
bill.
electric.
Yeah, the
bills on
electric,
the
look at the
bottom.
electric bill, not the gas bill.
Because instead of keeping it at 50, 45, 50, and there now we're keeping it at 55, 60.
just because they're using it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
They
you
go
come out
in
of
the shower,
you're gonna
try
get
to
a
keep
little
it
nippy in
somewhat.
there.
Well, there's also a question of liability.
But if somebody was just stopping in for 2 weeks to stay, you still
Yeah.
want it warm, wouldn't you? I mean, like, or would you just shut it down?
After hunting season, I'd say shut it down.
I don't know how much it's used. I don't
I'd
remember.
really like to see if it pencils out, well, how it pencils out. if it don't
Mhm.
pencil out.
But the deal is,
Electric
if you had
or-
more than one
electric
person
or-
out there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it would pencil a lot better too. If, say,
Mhm.
if you had 2 people staying there and you're getting 800 a month, that would make it a lot more feasible.
Mhm.
Huh, true.
So
I'm saying if you look at it that way,
This account, steel building / park. Last year was at 774. And this one that I just had in there was 951.
so really not that terrible much more.
Not when it's been 70 degrees this winter.
No, but I mean,
No, when it's the cold snap, it's up
Yeah.
there.
oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
They just need to know to start making plans, because they've already started trying to look. Because she needs to be by a hospital. Or a certain distance from a hospital.
But I mean, I was referring more to like summer.
Well,
If
that's-
somebody wanted to stay there longer,
Oh, yeah.
No problem with that.
you know, then it's just decide, do we shut it down at, you know? like
They're-
you
I
said,
mean, they're paying
after-
all summer long that 400, so we're
I'm just
making
gonna
the
say, I think we come out ahead other months that,
Kind of offsets
Yeah.
the winter.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
have some air conditioning in the summer, potentially too.
Well, what happens if we have a winter where there's actually snow? Are you gonna start plowing back there then?
Well, they already came in after the first measurable snow and asked if they needed to buy a shovel or if we were gonna move snow for them, and I'm just thinking, we don't typically ever move snow in the campground.
Mhm.
So that was.
Yeah.
So if you don't-
That's another thing that we, then,
Then is it a liability?
well, then you feel like you have to hurry up and get over there to do it, but there's other things that are more
Yeah.
pressing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't know is that we need to promise them that we can be there right away.
And I think we
And I don't
understand
think
that.
they were, yeah, they
No.
understand that.
And can we just tell them that they're like another homeowner in town and they need to contract snow removal?
I'll do it. I'm not gonna.
Prioritize.
Like they do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
on the roadway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
It'd be the
you
last
already
road
cleaned
to
the
do.
park around there, so it's just
Right.
a little bit, but you don't wanna stop, move their stuff,
Right.
but when you come back before you put your
Yeah.
tractor away, you can,
Yeah, yeah.
which I'm sure they're fine with that.
Okay.
Look, I mean, we can just leave it as is, and if there's nobody there, then we can shut the heat off next year. If they're
Yeah.
still there, then I guess we,
Or come up with a winter
They weren't-
or a summer.
they weren't a
race.
pain or nothing, were they?
No, they don't really ever hear from them. I mean,
Yeah, I look that way every once in a while. It's like, oh, it's still there. I don't see it, vehicles moving much or anything like that, so.
Well, if they like the community and willing to stay, I guess it's,
Yeah. All right, applications, we have 2 for the pool, but, yeah, sounds like we'll wait to see, if we get
At
some
least
more.
another month.
Yeah. Okay, whew. Employee concerns, your turn this time, Doug.
good.
Oh,
He
what
said-
happened to later?
Yeah, chimed in on the street sweeper.
Oh.
Damn, now I can scratch that off right over here. Douglas.
No, nothing, pretty much well, no, it's Bonnie and I and Linda, I think is all that really recertified this year, so. We were just over and done a refresher in Elkton because it was free, other than, a little mileage, but at least there was no class fees like some of the other ones have been, so. Other than that, went to Pier. When they dispatched us, I didn't hear quite where we were going. It was a little crackly. So I checked back and it's like, oh, it's not Sioux Falls. But then D. Smith got to go to Fargo today, so.
So you'll be happy with Pier.
And then I text Linda and she says, oh, heck, I was hoping they wouldn't answer. I haven't been to Fargo in quite a while. It's like, yeah, easy to you stay sitting in the front seat. That's a lot cushier than bouncing around in the back, but yeah, I went over to my ACLS, advanced cardiac, and Brookings was saying they're having to go to Aberdeen fairly regularly because Sioux Falls hospitals are full. So suppose there's flu, influenza, COVID, plus all the other things that pop up. But otherwise, that's all I had.
So you're saying wash your hands. Okay.
As you look at mine. Well, I got one clean finger.
That's just a
Cleanish.
Yeah.
It's the one that was affected from my heart surgery.
Oh.
Damaged
You're
the
just
nerve in
immune.
my shoulder. Yeah.
Jeremy,
just executive for legal, I think is all I need.
okay,
Nothing. I got approached by the Legion feed, or Legion, they just had their wild game feed and they had another good year. And last year, if I remember right, they went and they just said they'd buy, I don't remember how many children's year-long passes,
oh, right, which ended up being.
which ended up being way too
complicated.
much.
Yeah,
You know, they bought, I don't know, let's say they bought 100 and they didn't have 100 apply or whatever.
yeah,
Well, now they're wondering if they could just write a check for an amount. And
When it's gone.
when I believe so. And then any kid that comes in can just get in for
Oh,
free,
get a free
like
pass.
a.
Kind of
free
like the
pass if they wanted to.
Shriners type thing.
Yeah, I believe that's the way
Where
it
they
was
go
explained
around,
to me.
get donations, and
Yeah,
any child of a certain age that shows up at the circus gets in free.
yeah.
Because then they grab mom and dad and aunt and uncles and all
Because
them.
the way it was explained, if the kids come in, they can get in for free, but if parents come with, they have to pay for themselves. But because
Yep.
this wild game feed is purely to help with kids in town and other, ones that come from out of town and stuff. But,
I still have this printout of when I talked to Brett,
okay,
and so we kind of looked to see what our revenue was like last year.
Mhm.
and it was at 5,200.
Okay.
So then he's like, so if we just write a check for 5,500,
Mm-hmm.
then everyone's just free.
Right.
The kids, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So then would we, as a city, look at reevaluating our family pass rates? Because in theory, we're probably just having an adult
Adult pass.
as opposed to
Well, and
possibly a
Family
couple.
So that 5,200 included all the
I know that
family,
included all the adults.
right?
Family passes and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe next month, could we have that on the agenda, please?
Yeah.
To review?
Yeah, see what,
He didn't make it sound like it needed to be decided this
Yeah.
month. He just wanted to make sure we got it
Like
ahead of time.
I already have people wanting family passes.
Gonna say, if we let it know anybody that comes there is free, we might have a lot of visitors from surrounding communities,
Yeah. Well, if
which
this-
wouldn't be the worst thing.
I say if
mean,
they
they're still
stop at
coming
the
to
gas
town.
station, the grocery
Mhm.
store, or get ice
Yep.
cream at our cafe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
yeah, the city would make it the same, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
okay.
but that's all I got for.
Mm,
I don't have anything. So executive for legal and then executive for personnel.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so our March regular.
Oh, yeah,
meeting-
that's next. Yeah, I have it.
19th.
Yes, March 19th.
But
Did you say,
April.
6:00, I think.
yeah, we have 6 PM, right? That was discussed, okay?
Penalty here. Holy smoke.
And then
Well, it's an
April
equalization one.
6th.
Oh, yeah, but I mean. it's a
Yeah.
regular.
Is that gonna be at the community room or here? Or did we only have it in the community room last year because Close had a
Right.
presentation?
Yeah, it'll be
Okay,
here.
it'll be here, okay.
And then, I don't know, the April meeting, probably not on Easter.
At 6, you said for that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Most of us don't have that holiday, so,
Mean Easter Monday.
yeah.
What time was it on the March 19th?
6.
6?
So you want Monday, the 13th?
April
Yeah.
13th,
that works.
What's this for?
our April
next-
meeting,
Oh.
that's
The
Easter
second to
Monday.
Next regular meeting.
So we'll do it the 13th, the following.
Gotcha.
That work for you, Doug?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
hopefully farming by then?
No.
No?
Probably a tad early yet.
Yeah,
I noticed last time, is there a motion and a second to go into executive?
I will do the second. I think there is. I know you can declare us out without
Yeah.
a motion,
Yeah.
but we've always done a motion with a second.
So Jeremy, are you the?
yep, I'll make a motion.